We might have to switch to Facebook on this, maybe.
So this is YouTube. It's not Facebook.
It's YouTube, yeah. So we're back. Sorry, guys. I guess we had a bad connection. Is it better now? Cody? Well, check us out and let me know if we're doing okay.
Cody's all over it.
Cody's checking us out. And like normal, it takes forever to do anything.
Did everything we say,
I think you guys have been
was
talking.
that captured?
I'm sure it's on the first
Okay.
video thing.
Because why did you come to St. Louis?
So I was, at the time, I worked for General Dynamics.
When was this?
This is
Was
right
this
after.
before Fanbowl?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like a side-based database administrator.
So General Dynamics is not a sports company.
No. I was working for General Dynamics, and I had the job down by the brewery, you know, in that building across behind the brewery.
Okay.
With no windows.
What's a couple of those?
Yeah, I worked in that building.
Which
We
one?
got the retinal scan to get in.
Okay. Wow.
I was in the top secret building.
So, and how long did you stay there?
I absolutely hated it.
You did.
So I was a General Dynamics company, move all over the world, and
All over the world.
I went to like Tampa for this. I would go.
Like, did you go to like India and stuff like that? Or?
I've been there,
Really?
Yeah.
Well, over there in Dubai.
but I just think it was a time when I just.
Okay.
So I left cubicle life.
Dude, you got to get out of the cubicle life. Yeah, I shouldn't say that. Anybody who's out there who has a cubicle life, you make the most out of your cubicle life. And I'm sure it's great and wonderful.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
No,
try to
I'm
sugarcoat
sure
this.
it's wonderful.
No, it's fucking terrible.
I could never do it.
No, dude, it's the worst. I mean, again, if you're happy, you're happy. I don't
Yeah.
really know, but
Some people are satisfied with that, man, and it's all good. I could never ever do that. Like my attention span, lack thereof, it would get to me in a heartbeat. I wouldn't be able to handle it,
no.
and I couldn't have a boss breathing down my neck. I'd have an issue with that.
Basically, just some guy over you. So, like, the worst part about the General Dynamics gig
Mhm.
is I was the only government contractor really from General Dynamics, and I installed. I probably shouldn't even say this live. I installed like millions of dollars. I'm not going to give you the exact amount of $1 million of taxpayers' money into a system,
Really?
and we never turned it on.
So they were like scamming the people.
Yeah, they just didn't know how to use it, and so they wanted it
So
because it was state of the art.
They thought they were using it, but they never turned it
They
on.
never really
essentially.
did it.
Wow.
So I was like, go to work, and I had a big sign over my cubicle.
And what did it say?
It said, if I'm not doing anything, that means, it said, if I'm not doing anything, that means everything's working. And so I would just sit there.
So basically, if everything's going smooth, you're just like, you kick your feet up and just relax.
150 grand a year, and I'm just sitting there
Doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
But you don't miss that.
And no one would know if I was even there. So I stopped even going.
So you wouldn't even show up to work.
I would just stop going to work.
So we keep getting back to the Winter Classic, though. So that event, I'm with you. So I was saying the Corey Spinks. Okay, so
Yeah.
he was the champion, I think,
Mhm.
and Zab Judah was the known fighter. It was
Why did they bring St. Louis?
because Corey's from here,
Oh, that's right. Okay.
and
Got
so Nelly led him up to the ring, and Nelly was at like the height of his fame
Yeah.
and his popularity. So it was just the environment was unlike anything I'd ever seen. It was the first time Don King really had been like, come to town, spend 2 weeks here promoting everything. So a good buddy of mine who was the GM of the old like Savas Center or whatever the hell they called it prior to it now being the Enterprise Center in St. Louis, he was the GM of the building. Dennis Petrula, Don Juan. This guy was unbelievable, mover and shaker, really good at what he did. So he became super tight. And restaurants, whatever, and I would tag along with Dennis, go into like Hodak's, just so small little restaurants, and here's Don King waving his little American flag, whatever, and just going crazy. So the first time you're around Don King and you're around that entire environment, like it's super impressive. It's like crazy. You're like, wow, this is like the whole Mike Tyson connection. This is unbelievable. And then like the time, the second time he comes into town, the third time you're like, okay,
enough. I get
we've
it.
been there, done that
Yeah.
with Don King. Says kind of the same things.
That's the NFL draft.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure.
Oh my God.
I'm sure.
Just sitting there.
I know.
Then you're like, it's all this time.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there. You're waiting for the next team to pick. You don't care that much.
No.
You don't really care who the
Especially when
Jets
you-
pick.
Well, especially when you get past the first round.
Yeah, like no one cares.
Your knowledge of all the players once you get into the third
And people
round for
say
sure.
to me all the time, "Oh, you went to the NFL draft." I'm like, "Don't ever go to the NFL draft."
Yeah.
It's
So
terrible.
so anyway, so Spinks loses, Terrible fight. I think it went the distance, and he wouldn't like throw. He wouldn't exchange. He's just kind of like dancing around. Like there weren't. It just and like everyone
Lost in his hometown.
and everyone like locally, all the media, they all turned into like boxing experts. Everyone's tweeting out at the end of every round. I've got Judah 5-4. I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, what do you do? They didn't do anything. What do you mean you have him 5-4? You don't even know what that means. So anyway, he lost. There's like a melee going on in the stands, like all out, like sections after section after section, just brawls going on everywhere. Chairs flying, fights. I'm like, okay, now this is getting a little crazy. I'm down on the floor. Maybe it's safe down here. But my first exposure, man, to like a big time boxing event, and I will say one of the most fun events that I've ever been to.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. It really was.
Chaos there.
Yeah,
Chaos.
total
Right?
chaos. And we keep going back to the Winter Classic. So let me just finish what I was like, going to say about that. I just don't get the sense that they're going to have the game. Like if you're not going to have fans there, it's such a fan event.
Yeah.
And plus, if you're going to put on like an alumni game, how do you put on an alumni game without fans? Now it's at a big, what is it, Target Field, whatever.
Mhm.
So obviously you could have maybe, I don't know what they're doing in Minnesota right now, maybe a small portion of fans or whatever they want to do. But I just don't
I mean, I don't know what the point of having it is if you're going to have
do it right. If you're going to
8,000 people there.
if you're going to give an event like that to a hockey crazed market like Minnesota, then do it right. Postpone it, push it back, even if it's late next season, as opposed to January 1, or give it to them January 1, 2022,
Yeah.
and let them host it and let them do it right.
So what do you think about the whole Randy Arozarena thing?
Well, like everyone's like freaking out.
Yeah.
Okay, here's all I'm going to say is, and listen, I don't like scout like 14-year-olds in the Dominican and stuff like that. I'm not like super baseball scout and stuff like that. But I know enough to know this. Everyone's like, I don't see anybody who saw this coming from him. So like, I don't think Cardinal management did. I don't think the team that acquired him. Where does he even play? Like Toronto?
He plays for Tampa.
Okay, Tampa.
You're not a baseball
Fuck,
guy.
I ain't fucking. When's the game on?
Tonight.
Oh, it's tonight. It's game 2
Yeah.
tonight. I'll start watching the
I
World
think it's
Series.
tonight or tomorrow.
Sports is very confusing for me right now because you don't know, like, there's no fan. You don't know what's really going on. Baseball's been hard. They played like every day. They had COVID. This team's playing. This team's not playing.
Yeah.
Cardinals took like 3 weeks off during the season. It was like I kind of took a year off from truly following baseball. But maybe I'll get back into it tonight. So anyway,
Tonight.
all-
You're not going to watch it.
I'll watch it
No.
a little bit.
No.
What channel? It's on Fox too.
I don't even know if it's on.
You don't know if
Is
it's
the
on.
baseball game on tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the Rays because they're kind of like the underdogs or whatever,
for sure.
right? And they got a bunch of a lot of youth.
But
But-
see, here's my take on
But
it.
this guy,
It's good.
I didn't see any of the fans being like, "Oh my God, what are the Cardinals doing? Let this guy go," even though he was started like in the minors, right?
Yeah.
Total
So,
stud.
but the thing about it is I think Moselle has come out and said he thought he had the same kind of player in Bader, O'Neal, and whoever else, right? And I'm like, okay, well, all right, if that's your argument, but the Rays are like historically one of the most packed minor league systems, right? They're very
Always,
smart, right?
Why do you think that?
So if
is?
you think that is
smart people in the
yeah,
organization,
but if I'm like John Mozeliak and I'm a bozo,
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh, the Rays are calling me, they want one of my players.
Right.
I'm like skeptical. I'm like, oh, they see something in him I don't see.
wait, like they're pumping him out left and right. Why does he want my guy?
Yeah, and why are they trading like what is supposed to be supposedly one of their best young pitchers for him?
See, the people who are in charge of the minor league system for the Cardinals, who like work under Mo. See, Mo takes all the heat, but somebody else messed up.
Yeah, for
In
sure.
addition to Mo. But it's just like I look at I always like equate it to like a hockey team for because I'm closest to how that situation works and operates and whatever. That keeps so important. That's why certain individuals in an organization hold a certain position.
Yeah.
And they're responsible for that. I mean, Doug Armstrong can't be. He doesn't watch every minor league game. He's not. I mean, he's relying on the information he's getting from his assistant GM and the coaching staff down there. And same thing with all these kids that are playing junior hockey everywhere, man. He relies on information from others, and he pops in and out just a couple of times. So you put it all on Mo or no?
I mean,
At the end of the day, it's on him, man.
shit goes uphill, right? What
I
do they
feel
say?
like Mo is safe.
You must have naked pictures of those guys.
I think the ownership, I think they're just like, okay, we love in Mo we trust.
Really?
I think that's what ownership is saying. In Mo we trust.
That's not good. I mean, the history over the last
Are you a Cardinal fan now?
no,
Who's
My
your
problem. I'm a Mets fan. Everybody that knows
Mets?
me knows I'm a diehard Mets fan. I root for the Cardinals only because I have a story
How
here.
could you be a Mets fan?
I grew up like worshiping Darryl Strawberry.
Dude, he's local.
I know.
He's like one of us.
Yeah, I know he
Has
is.
he been here?
No, I don't think he's been here. Gooden's been here, but Strawberry didn't.
Gooden's-
I've never met him multiple
Gooden's my
times.
boy too. He and Strawberry. Listen, that was like the most hated team in Cardinals history.
Yeah.
For like a rival.
Yeah.
Like the Mr. Ponscom and all that. But those guys, man, with Keith Hernandez and
That was a wild bunch.
Wally Backman,
Yeah, for sure.
and Howard Johnson, they all look like they were like 50 years old.
Yeah, so the story goes in 1986 when the Mets were winning the World Series.
Mhm.
If my mom's on here, she'll attest to this. My mom makes me go camping, World Series.
Camping during the World Series.
Yes. And like as a kid, like
With
at this point, I'm like,
no phones, nothing like that.
no.
You're like truly like
Yeah, like,
rough.
I had to go to the lake, and I'm like, oh my god! And all I wanted to do was go to watch the World Series. And
Who they play?
Rebecca loves
playing
this story.
Boston, right?
Rebecca loves the story. Yeah. So Game 6, I'm at the lake, and I'm listening to the radio on my dad's Mercury Tracer. Okay, at the time.
Little sedan kind of.
Yeah, little
yeah,
sedan.
Yeah.
And they're all think I'm listening. And the Mets are losing. I'm crying. Tears,
Is
tears.
this the dribbler?
And the dribbler goes to Buckner's. I'm listening to it on the radio, and I start screaming. And I beg my mom to take me home the next day because I got to watch Game 7.
Wow. And did she?
Okay, she did. But this is why I hate Renaissance fairs. There was a catch. I had to go to the Renaissance Fair. I had to go to the Renaissance Fair.
The
On the way home.
Renaissance Fair.
Yes. Yes.
Why was that even in play?
Oh, because it was part of her plan.
So your mom goes to Renaissance Fair.
I don't know if she went to. I don't remember ever going to one except this one.
You have to dress
So
up
I
those things.
I walk in and everybody's walking around. They're fucking like
mini
ale for sale. They're fucking screaming, and they're like walking around with turkey legs. And I'm like, what the hell am I?
turkey leg.
And I'm like, this is miserable. And so I like got through it, and I got home. My mom got me home literally like minutes before
Before
the game.
Game 7.
Yeah,
And you
Game
watched it, and the Mets
And I-
won. or
Yeah, I
whatever.
was crying in joy.
Wow. I don't see. Like, I don't get like how you can become a Mets fan. Like,
Because Darryl Strawberry went to Crenshaw now from
he
California.
would. Oh,
So like from when I was growing up, he was the
that's
guy.
That's like street cred right there.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I'd say I'm from Crenshaw.
Yeah.
That's like Inglewood, Crenshaw, Watts.
Greetings from Puerto Rico.
Oh, what's up,
What's
Puerto
up, buddy?
Rico?
They don't know how to scout these hitters. That's true, Sean. I agree with you. Yeah,
that's
Randy
an
was
issue.
hitting like crazy in the minors.
Yeah, in the minors. I think he was like the either like a AAA player of the year, or
Yeah,
something like that.
And they traded him away.
And what they get, like a pitcher or something.
Yeah, you better be good. You better
And
be
we don't
Randy
know
Johnson.
anything about him yet.
No.
But this kid could like tail off next year. Or whatever.
Oh, for sure. You never know what's going to happen. He's not
But-
Mike Trout.
Could you imagine though, like everybody sits here and it's part of being a fan. Like I get it. I would never suggest anybody ever change.
Mhm.
But like nobody's balls are really on the line, except for like Mo. Like it's easy for everybody to kind of just say, "I would do this, I would do that,"
Mhm.
but there's nothing really on the line for you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
this guy, every decision he makes impacts hundreds of thousands of people.
Correct.
That's why, Cam and I had this conversation on our radio show yesterday, or today actually, about like that's why no fan should ever have patience with a cheap owner who's a billionaire, but they run their professional sports team cheap.
Like the Will Ponds.
Or like we're talking about like Moneyball, like the movie
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like if you're not gonna spend money as a professional sports owner, then don't buy the team.
Well, look at the Rays owner. Did you see like the Rays?
They've always
The
been
Rays
cheap,
as a
right?
team.
and they win every year.
Yeah, but the Rays as a team make less than Mookie Betts and Kershaw together.
Really?
Yes.
Because even when they were really good, like whatever, 10 years,
I think their payroll for their entire team's like
they
24
were
million.
good every year.
Yeah.
I think Fred McGriff played there
Yeah.
for a year.
That's good. That's good. That's pull that out, right?
No, but like they had some good team, fun to watch, whatever.
Mhm.
All these young cats, and then like they would like get too expensive, and they end up playing elsewhere.
Yeah.
They would leave. They could never keep the team together,
It's like the
but they were good every year.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, the Expos.
Yeah, Gary Carter, my boy.
Tim
Rest in
Raines, man.
peace.
Tim Raines,
Larry Walker.
Larry Walker, Andre Dawson,
Good.
Gary Carter. Yeah.
Yeah, they would have had
Great
all those.
catcher. He was
Yeah,
a Mets.
your Mets guy.
Yeah. I think number 8.
Scored the game-winning run in Game 6.
He had like curly hair. He looked like
Or him or Ray Knight did.
he looked like he was 50 years old when he played too. Everyone back then looked old in all sports.
Customer said the Rays pitching staff equals what Clayton Kershaw makes.
What does Kershaw make?
I would say.
Aren't his playoff
What's
numbers?
Kershaw make? 30, 40 million? 30 million? Kershaw? It's probably 18. I don't know what it is.
Okay,
It's a lot.
but his playoff numbers, like they're not very good, are they?
No, he's terrible in
Like
October.
I was gonna say, like, how do
He
you?
was good last night.
That's good.
Yeah, you almost
Um,
feel sorry for him. Like when you're watching
A
him,
little bit.
you're like watching him as a fan
Yeah.
because the Cardinals have like destroyed him.
Yeah.
And you watch him like for me because I don't have like skin in the game. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I really like. I actually appreciated the fact they got a win to get that monkey off.
I need the Dodgers to win this. Actually, now the more I think about it,
Why?
like I didn't have that. I just because I'd like to see him win. Some of
Yeah.
these guys get the monkey off their back. I've always been a Dodgers fan too.
Alright.
I like the Dodgers. Great uniforms. They're like the equivalent of like an original 6 team in hockey, whatever. They're just old
I
school.
used to be Andy's Blues Buzz radio show when I lived in Chesterfield.
Is this the guy from Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that. What's his name?
Rory.
Rory. See, Rory used to come to my radio show. I did a radio show at Johnny Mac Sporting Goods for like 10 years straight, where, and then I bounced around a couple times and obviously landed here at Fan Cave prior to the NHL pause. And then we started this big production right here. But Johnny Mac's 10 years stayed here for a 10-year stretch. You came to the show.
Really?
They'd get like watches, whatever. We would pack the store. Like Oshie would come in. They'd come through. The Blues were terrible. It was like the best promotion they ever got.
Yeah.
And John Davidson, I love JD, now president of the New York Rangers. He'd always like get mad at me and threaten to cancel the show all the time.
What?
They would always get mad at me back there.
For what you were saying.
Off what I would say, and report something they didn't want out. I'm actually getting. We're having JD on our podcast, man. I mean, I've got a lot of respect for JD.
Yeah.
JD deep down was really good to me, but we would fight like crazy, and I'm just in a way just like happy that he continues to find a way to have success. But we'd have a police escort for like Oshie. He was like Justin Bieber before there was Justin Bieber. Girls would be like on the hood of his car outside. He's trying to get away, driving off, and they're like chasing his car down. I mean, when I say we packed the store, it's an understatement. You've seen situations where you've had guys out here, and you know what chaos is.
Yeah.
It was like that all the time. I'd have owners, Dave Checketts, presidents, general managers, head coaches, assistant coaches, but every player. If you played here, from Paul Correa on down,
Really?
Kane. Oh yeah,
Great.
Al McInnes, who doesn't do those.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got. But he'd come out and do it. Like, great story was Paul Correa. I remember I had. I think it was Patrick Berg. No, yeah, I think it was Berglund, or it was maybe it was Petro. Actually, it might have been Petro.
Mhm.
Petro Karam, one of these young guys at the time, who was scheduled to come to the show at Johnny Mac's, and we're like 2 hours before the show. And Correa calls me. Correa never did any of these things. I mean, I talk to Correa right now, trying to get him to do my podcast. He's like surfing every day. Paul, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's make this happen. He calls me 2 hours before the show. He said, Petro can't come tonight. I said, what do you mean he can't? What are you talking about? Like what? How are you involved in this conversation? He's like, he's coming to my house for dinner. He can't come. I'm like, dude, you got to get me somebody. He said, I'll call you right back. He goes, Bergie will be there. Called me right back, Patrick Berg. He said, Bergie will be there.
Oh, man.
And for him doing that to me, Correa came and did the show the following week.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So,
was he?
oh, he was great. I mean, he's like not the most exciting interview, but he's got great stories and a great story to tell. And he's an absolute legend. He's
I mean, when he came into town, Cam and him didn't Cam have something to do with him coming to town to get his when he came?
like tight because they won a cup together in Anaheim. They're really good buddies.
Okay.
But I mean, Big Walt and
Bronx is tight with Korea?
but Big Walt and Korea are really tight too.
Right.
So every time the Blues would go to Vancouver, where Korea's from, Korea would take Big Walt to his mom's house to have dinner. And I guess his mom just like absolutely loves Keith Kachuk.
Really?
So
I like him too.
a Big Walt.
Yeah,
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah, he's
The
great.
Kachuk family, man. The number one family of St. Louis hockey, and they're unbelievable people too.
Yeah.
Let's talk about them today because, people are like, well, how are they so good? Like Kachuk, who made over $100 million as a player, his dad just retired as a captain, a firefighter. He was captain of a fire department in Boston, and his mom worked on like the lobster. It's like a lobster. What do they call it? Like down by the docks, whatever.
Oh, really?
Like hardcore, like blue collar, man. They never retired until like recently, and they could have years.
Now he's got now they're like with the two sons.
Oh my God,
that's a big deal.
it is. A big
They're all
deal.
here too, huh?
Weird.
Brady and Matthew are back.
Matthew spends more time here than Brady, but yeah, they're all here, like hanging out and working out and stuff like that. So
Good for them.
I know
It's gotta be great to be the dad and you're watching your two sons play.
Oh my God, and you're a legend yourself.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like, how much of an advantage is that for a kid to grow up in that environment? Is it all like DNA, or is it just you're just exposed to it and that's just who you are?
I mean, some of it I think, but the only issue is if you don't, the living with the scrutiny of not being that guy.
Yeah.
Like if you're LeBron's kid,
Yeah,
if you're Brony and he doesn't live up to the expectations,
Bronny.
he doesn't live up to the
We
expectations.
can call him Brony.
Yeah, because he took some brownies or smoked some weed or
Oh,
something.
he did. He took his Instagram account down.
Yeah.
Right, Bronny.
Yeah.
I think LeBron's a nerd. I'm sorry, a little bit. I'm just not a big fan.
Why?
I'm just not. I like Taco Tuesday, all that. I'm just not really into it. I like Jimmy Butler. That's who I want.
Oh my gosh. They can't. I mean, he can't hold his doctor. LeBron is.
LeBron is the greatest. He's not the greatest basketball player that I've ever seen, but I will say I've never seen any. You could put LeBron on any team in the league, and they will get to the NBA final. They do it.
Yeah. I mean,
He never like loses in the second round.
no. Last year,
Dude, he gets to the final every year,
yeah, last year.
no matter what team he's on.
The Lakers weren't very good last year.
But then he like shut it down.
Yeah, well, he got hurt.
He shut it down.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, you know what? We're not very good. I'm gonna shut it down.
Yeah.
And then they went out and get Anthony Davis, whatever. Or did they have him last year too?
No.
Yeah, they went out and got him. So like, he just like orchestrates how everything goes.
Yeah.
But I'll give LeBron credit, man. From that standpoint, he is a great basketball player,
Yeah.
and he does a lot, giving back to communities and stuff like that with his schools. He's involved. He's got a voice. I don't hate on LeBron. I shouldn't say that.
You do hate on him, but that's what you said.
I don't know. I'm more. I like the Warriors. I think the Warriors will come back next year too. I do.
No.
Oh yeah. Don't count the Warriors out for next
Well,
season.
I know, but I mean, Steph Curry will be back. I mean, I'm sure.
Well, and Clay will be back too.
Yeah.
And they're going to get like a top 5 pick.
Top 2. They're on the
Top
second
2
pick, unless they trade it.
And there's this like a sick player out of Memphis or something like that that they're looking at.
I think everybody wants Bradley Beal, but I don't know what's going to happen. The local.
They could get
St.
Beal.
Louis did, right?
Who's making like $300 million.
Mr. Houston, do you think you can get all 3 Molinas together for an autograph signing?
Mr. Houston.
Probably not.
Why not?
Highly unlikely.
I know where to go for that.
But I know, but Yachty's not coming in.
Okay, so my buddy lives right next door to them. It's like lives right next door to Yachty. And so I've been over there hanging out, and I'm like, what is going on? They got the music going in the back, and he said they're unbelievable people. So he always leaves them alone, whatever. But if he wanted to go over there, he definitely could. So we might have to go to them,
I don't know about
to
that.
their compound. So have you tried to get him out here?
It's a long, long situation with Yachty, but I don't know if that'll ever happen.
What about Pujols?
I just don't really have much interest in the price he wants.
Really? So what would somebody like that want? Like a big mega?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know today what his deal is. I just know that the last signing
Like
he
they're
did,
not doing it for like
the
whatever.
last signing he did, he was like what, $400 or $500 on a baseball.
Really?
Yeah.
And they'll sign like how many at a?
I don't know how many they signed. Probably depending on tickets. They probably had to guarantee him a lot of money.
Money?
I don't know. I'm always like, I think Rebecca and I always take the stance that we appreciate every time they come in because we don't think that any of them need the money.
Correct.
So like nobody, like Pat Maroon doesn't need to come in here in a couple of weeks.
Right.
Matt Holliday doesn't need to meet me.
Who'd you have? A Goldie too? Goldschmidt?
Yeah, man, Goldschmidt got a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Remember he was in with Petra?
Together.
Petra was here for the Stanley Cup photos, and then Goldie was here for signing.
Who's your the one guy you like want to get on board big time? Like if you could get one athlete
To come to Fan Cave?
to come on board, to get on board.
I mean, it's different. I mean, you can do a signing with somebody. It just comes down to financially.
I know.
Really
What
can do
makes
it.
sense?
Like, I would love to have Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Dude. Mike Tyson, Barry Sanders, Deion Sanders. Those are my.
Those are your guys?
Oh yeah.
See, like Tyson, I've met quite a few times.
Have
but
you?
Yeah.
Is he
I've been
cool?
doing this a long time, man.
I know, but is he cool though?
Yeah, it's very cool. Super cool.
Because he can be a little bit like, I've seen.
No, he's super cool.
Okay.
Super cool. I've really never, like, outside of Josh Beckett, I've really never had a bad experience.
What was that experience?
I mean, I'm not a big John Jay fan. I mean, if I'm being honest.
John Jay. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's cool. I mean, whatever.
It was just kind of like, I mean, here's a guy that has an ego of like,
Does he?
well,
He's got a lot of Jordans.
Yeah, so here you guy, I mean, he's like a fourth outfielder on most teams. Like, I
Right.
don't
And so
understand.
he gave you a little bit of attitude.
Yeah, you can give him.
I don't like that. Come on, John. That's not
But,
cool.
like, no,
So Beckett. Can we tell that story or no?
So it's after the 2004, maybe the World Series.
Marlins?
2002
Right.
World Series, something like that. Doing a signing. At the time, Josh Beckett was like the ace of the Red Sox.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, this is when he was like eating chicken wings and
Oh, yeah.
drinking beer and stuff in the
sure,
clubhouse.
Yeah. So he does the signing, and I'm sitting with Mike Lowell, who was the MVP of that World Series, and he's signing for me.
Where you at in St. Louis?
No, I'm in Boston at this point. So I'm doing this huge signing, and so Josh Beckett is like at the time $100,000 to sign.
$100,000.
$100,000.
Now, what do you get for $100,000?
I mean, he has to sign a lot of shit, but it
Okay.
was still he has to sign.
Several hours.
So he's there, and he walks in with his headphones on,
Okay.
and he starts signing baseballs. So he like signs. He's like picking them up and just signing them over the threads and over the seams or whatever you call them.
So are you like, hey.
I'm like,
gotta
hey,
see.
can you stop for a second?
Yeah.
And he literally just tells me to go fuck myself.
No.
Yes. And I'm like, and he's like 24 baseballs in, and he's written all over the seams of them. Like he's like, that's
So
how
it's
they're in the
just
box.
sloppy as hell.
Yeah, sloppy as
Can you
hell.
even sell those?
No. And I'm like, all right, we got to start over. Mike Lowell, I'm like, can you help me out? Like, because
And
he's
Mike's
super
his
nice guy.
teammate,
Super
right?
nice guy.
You think Mike would be like, dude, facts. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
Chill
I
out.
think he kind of said something to him, and then it was like, okay, he came back and did him. But he's like, time is money. Time is money. I'm like, oh my God, this is stupid.
well, no, I don't like Beckett either.
Oh, I can't. That's my one guy.
And he kind of fell off after that, didn't he?
Yeah, sure. He got traded to the Dodgers or something. It was terrible.
Screw Beckett.
She got traded to the Marlins. Got traded to not my
Yeah,
guy.
we don't like him.
Outside of him, I have never
No
had
real-
a bad
no
experience.
real bad experiences.
No on the Blues. Nobody on the Blues.
No.
Cardinals are just kind of different.
Are they? Well, baseball players are different.
Yeah, I mean,
Baseball players are different. I always knew that too. Like I covered a lot of baseball for a good like 15 year period, being at games, and like back at the old Bush, and even like throughout the La Russa era, the Pujols era, those teams were fun to cover. They were really good.
Yeah.
And then for whatever reason, baseball, it just got a little bit boring to me. It was always kind of boring. And I've had a hard time getting back into it until tonight. I'm watching game 2.
no, you're not.
A couple innings of it.
No, you're not.
I'll watch it. I tried to listen on the
Hey,
radio
Aiden.
yesterday too. It was just like nothing happened. Like 15 minutes. Like nothing has happened.
No, that's the point of baseball. I mean, Rebecca and I used to be into baseball. When I first met Rebecca, she was a diehard Cardinals fan.
Okay.
But like now, we're diehard Blues fans. We don't even.
Do
pay
kids
attention.
come in? Like I dropped my daughter off like at school. My kids. I've got like 3 kids, whatever. Sorry. 2 of them are at one school, whatever. My little guy goes to a different school. Drop them off. I don't see any kids wearing like baseball stuff. It's like blues,
Yeah, for
blues.
sure. In the summer.
And then the random kid will have like an NFL like quarterback jersey or something
Patrick
like that.
Mahomes or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a Brady or whatever.
I mean, if you look around the store, we don't even carry Cardinals jerseys.
Why? Is that by design?
Just because we didn't sell them very well.
Really? So like, people aren't coming in to buy that?
No.
It's like the Rams stuff. I never understood how people wore like Rams.
Was Pat Maroon ever on the
Yeah.
Bandits?
Oh yeah. In fact, on my other podcast, we just had John Cooper on, who's the head coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning, who was the head coach of the St. Louis Bandits, with Pat Maroon on the team.
That's your guy, Coops.
Coop, love Coop, love Coop, and Patty from back in the day.
Yeah.
Patty's cool too. But now Patty, every picture, he's just like, okay, we get it, Patty. We had Kevin Shattenkirk on too. He's like, Patty, we get it. You won 2. Like the whole team is like, and then Patty's like, back to back,
baby.
We love it. We love it.
Kim Drury. I'm a diehard Blues fan. Yep. What's up, Aiden? Buke Ding. What's going on, buddy?
Love the participation.
I'm only can watch baseball if I'm there. It seems like, yeah. I mean, if you go
With
to
a beer in my hand and the green seats, okay, where I'm getting some free stale pretzels and nachos all game long. That's where I want to be.
yeah, for sure,
Green seats.
for sure.
Do I sound like
But that's because you're staying up at the Ritz Carlton right now.
not true?
High maintenance.
We are homeless right now to an extent.
Well, I mean, homeless is. Let's not. We'll use that.
I'm not sleeping under a bridge, but I don't like. Technically, I don't. I listen.
Your life isn't that hard. You're healthy.
Yes,
You don't haven't lost any loved
but I
ones.
sold my house, and my house where we're moving, we can't get in yet. So
You're the definition of white privilege.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's kind of fun though, where we're staying, a lot of action around there, and you know, I don't know. It's a little bit different. We're treating it like it's a vacation.
Yeah.
But
Got an indoor pool?
there is. I don't do the indoor pools.
Why?
I don't know.
Kids want to go downstairs. And
I haven't told them there is one yet. I haven't told them.
Don't worry. It's
like
got
hot.
so much.
It's
It's
like-
got so much chlorine in
Oh,
it.
it's like hot.
You can't really see in there. Like,
And my
your
wife
water.
didn't even like pack like swimsuits and stuff like that. So we have everything on pods right now. Like you have no idea. Like my life to last like a week or so.
Oh, I'm
It's been
sure
crazy.
it's been terrible.
Moving is one of the most painful experiences ever. And like some people are like, oh, I can do it. It's like, yeah, well, do you have like, are you moving for yourself? Are you moving like with like 3 kids and a wife who just like keeps everything? She doesn't throw away anything. It's
Really?
like, oh my God, every piece of artwork they've ever made. Like I was like, I finally put my foot down. I'm like, okay, some of this has got to go. Like the Scarecrow from like 7 years ago with like one arm missing now. It's like ripped up in half. That's got to go.
We threw it out. Rebecca's that person. I'm the person that like saves stuff, and Rebecca's like, let's get rid of everything.
Oh, really?
We have nothing.
See, oh,
Like when we moved, it was very easy. We hired a moving company.
yeah.
It was like half a day, right, babe? And then the boys helped me move like the big stuff, and we were done.
Okay, so I had to move everything into pods, then have the pod company come move it somewhere else. You know, like so. This is like costing me a decent amount of money
Stop it.
to move twice.
Oh my god.
Okay, I don't like this whole moving thing, but we'll get through it.
All right. Hey, who was the guy with the blue hair in the Bandits? You're an inspiration to Rory,
Oh, is that what he said?
and you always give him good advice.
Dude, Rory, I didn't tell you to go to Puerto Rico. That's the one thing that you didn't. I didn't, but I would go to Puerto Rico too. But like he
Yeah.
just like picked up and left. But he was a big time supporter of the show.
So why? So how come you like that run of those stories when the
Yeah.
team got successful? It was
Yeah.
just harder and harder.
Here's when it got harder. I think coming into like the 2012-2013 season, maybe shortly thereafter, like they had a condensed schedule. They were playing like every other day, and Doug Armstrong had when he took over, it became a little more of a challenge because he kind of had a rule like if the guys had a game the next night, he didn't want them out doing events and stuff like that. And the team got good again, so then the team kind of got involved, took more control over a lot of the players'
Yeah.
appearances and stuff like that. But honestly, the younger the players got, and this is post Oshie, Perron, Petro, Eric Johnson era, because those kids were cool as hell, man. I mean, they would do it. I could ask Oshie like the day of, like just in the dressing room, hey, dude, will you come to Johnny Max tonight, 6 o'clock? I'll be there. Alexander Steen back then. I called him at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon one day because somebody got sick or something, and he came and did it. Like, he would never do that
No,
nowadays.
No.
Steiner would never
he's
do
a
that.
great guy. Though.
Good guy, but he would never do that.
No.
So,
I don't think a lot of them would do that.
so now it's just changed a little
No, I think they would do it. Like I think it's all depends on your relationship with them.
Correct.
So I think now it's more relationship based. I don't think they're going to do it out of the goodness of their heart.
Oh no. But it was all relationship based even back then.
Yeah.
But see, like back then, like there was like me and maybe one other guy covering the team, like on a daily,
That's it.
and I was like probably the only person in St. Louis giving and providing daily opinions on the Blues. And so some people liked it, some people didn't like it, because it's your opinion, whatever. But the columnists for like the local papers and stuff like that, they weren't writing Blues columns. They'd come out there like twice a year and write a Blues column. So nobody else was doing it. I was writing for different websites and stuff like that, and just kind of grinding it out,
Hustling.
hustling, baby.
Yeah, side hustle. All right, so we want to we got these in. Everybody saw them. They're on the website right now. Hockey Fights Cancer beanies. We'll give one away. You got a good trivia question?
Oh, for
And again, first person give me the answer.
okay. What year was Eric Johnson the first overall pick?
All right. What year was Eric Johnson the first overall pick?
That's
Give me a
an
thing in
easy
the
one.
comments, and you'll get a free beanie. 2006. Is that accurate?
2006 is 100% accurate. Ding,
Okay.
ding, 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 ding,
Ding, ding, ding, ding, ding. William Brinker. You're going to get the beanie. William Brinker.
William Brinker,
Go ahead and
baby.
go to Facebook, send us a PM, and we will get this out to you. We'll ship it out to you, William Brinker. Kim Drury said 1995. That's like old.
Ooh. Maybe a different Eric Johnson was drafted in 1995.
1995.
Tore his ACL in a Blues golf outing. I'll never forget that story too.
He would just never lived that back. He would never. He's been better now.
Oh, he's had a really good career, made a ton of money, owns horses. Like he's a big part of their, like
He's in Colorado, right?
he's in Colorado, but like he came in like the league when like Crosby and Kane and all these guys were like bookending him for the first overall pick. You know, it was like kind of the Blues' luck back then.
Yeah.
And Taves goes third overall. Blues don't take Taves, and Jarmo Kekalainen, who was in charge of the Blues amateur draft at the time, he's now the GM of the Columbus Blue Jackets. He told me that, they knew they were taking EJ, and he was like the consensus number one pick. Every team in the league probably would have taken him first overall. But he said the night before the draft, he sent out a questionnaire to like the top 3-4 guys. And Jordan Stahl was like the other guy along with Eric Johnson and Jonathan Taves. And he said Taves sent it back immediately. And he said, I remember saying to my staff, there's something to be said for this. The fact that he sent this back, he filled it out and sent it back immediately.
Wow.
And they almost like had started to think, do we go in a different direction? But Larry Plow has always said, who was the GM at the time, that their second choice would have been Jordan Stahl. It wouldn't have been Taves. And Stahl's had a good career, but obviously not as decorated as Taves. But yeah, so I mean, you have 2000. You had Crosby, in 2005.
Yeah.
And then you had Patrick Kane going in 2007. Since then you got the McDavids and all these guys, Kovalchuk, Ovechkin, all these guys that went first overall, just absolute phenom, stud, first ballot Hall of Fame guys.
And Eric Johnson.
And the Blues didn't get that with their first overall. But he was a damn good player and a great guy. Tore his ACL playing golf at a team golf outing. And I'll never forget, speaking of JD, who's coming on my podcast this week, I'll never forget getting the phone call saying, hey, we're going to announce that Eric Johnson tore his ACL. I'm like, really? Like, well, how did it happen? And he's like, well, he's just driving the golf cart. And everybody sticks their leg out there to stop it and just whatever. And I'm like, nah, I don't think the streaky, antennas start going up. I'm like, all right, we got to start investigating. Now they're getting mad, because you're investigating, trying to figure out what's going on. And now you hear the real story. That's not exactly how it went down. But I'm glad that he recovered. He's back. And then, Doug Armstrong made a good deal, man. They brought in Kevin Shattenkirk and Chris Stewart for Eric Johnson. And they started their process in building a Stanley Cup winner.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of interesting because I only had a very slight run-in with the Blues. And I mean, you would think that like my interactions with all the players, I would have these animosity kind of things, but I haven't really had it. I mean, I know that
they're great now, man.
I think there's a guy there that doesn't really like me, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's not Doug or anything like that. It's not Tom, but the funniest part was when what was his name? The Johnson kid that got traded to Anaheim.
Oh, Chad Johnson.
Said Chad Johnson was supposed to come in for a signing and text me that he can't come because he just got traded.
Yeah, he got picked up on waivers.
Yeah. So I reported on my Facebook.
Oh, did you?
I reported on my Facebook.
Wow.
And they got pissed.
Insane.
It wasn't public knowledge. So I reported on my Facebook, Chad Johnson can't come in because he got traded. Because we had a sign that day.
Wow.
And I got heat for it. Heat.
How nice is Chad Johnson?
I never met him.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh, he's one of the nicest people ever.
He was, but the greatest thing about Chad Johnson, this is a great story about Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson said, I pay the players to come. I think everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Chad Johnson said, I don't want you to come. I just want to come meet the fans,
Really?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. This guy is like legit nice.
I think it was a free signing, if I remember correctly.
Super, super nice guy. And without him being waived, there is no Jordan Bennington.
It's true.
And without Huso getting hurt, we may never know who Jordan Bennington is. Huso gets hurt down in the American League.
Mhm.
Bennington's his backup. Chad Johnson gets claimed on waivers. The Blues get a goalie, and they call up Bennington. He sat on the bench for like a week or two before he got into a game. And not Billy Huso, who now is going to be Bennington's backup in the National League after
You think he's going to be the backup? Didn't they sign someone?
Huso.
Yeah.
They signed, yeah, but it's Huso's job to lose as the backup.
Yeah.
He's legit too, man. He's going to be a good player for a long time. Jake Allen just told me that he is the most skilled goaltender he's ever seen in his life,
Really?
ever. And Jake is like a student of the game when it comes to goaltending. Like he's very intelligent, smart, knows, can obviously pick players apart at that position. Very intelligent. And for him to say that, it has a lot of carries a lot of weight behind it.
That carries some weight.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to wrap up.
And I don't think Huso slept for like a week after they won the cup too.
You don't think?
Absolute beauty. Yeah. Awesome guy, man. And he got the cup for a day. That's what I love. Army did that. The Blues did that for these guys too.
Yeah.
They gave these guys a cup for a day, even the guys that didn't play in the final. He got the
I
cup
went to
for a day.
Thorpe's.
Oh yeah, up in Michigan.
Yeah.
And so Billy Huso had his like in Finland. Had a day with the cup, and
That's
I thought it
awesome.
was great, man.
I just enjoy how friendly the hockey players are compared to other pro athletes. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Do you think the XFL will be back in the STL in their reboot?
Okay, so the XFL and I didn't really get along. Okay, I just didn't give him the credibility. But Ryan gives me a autographed photo from Tiamo Famu.
No, Jordan Tiamo.
Oh, Jordan Tiamo.
Oh, my
He's
God.
the quarterback.
He's now in the Chiefs, isn't he? He got COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think
Is he
he's a
like
Chiefs. I think he's like either Chiefs backup or a practice player. He's on the reserve list.
Wow. So he's legit. So the XFL, I just didn't really get into it until I got my photo. Then I became a Tiamo fan.
You hated that thing.
I was like, what is going on? Why is people are acting like this is like a real team around town or something? I don't know. I just couldn't take it serious.
St. Louis was the biggest draw.
You're selling like merchandise here and
Yeah.
everything. So
They were the big draw.
I got behind it. Are they coming back?
Well, The Rock bought it with some investors.
Is that a good investment?
I don't know.
Like, can you make money on that?
I think it's going to take 4 or 5 years, they said,
To do what?
to make money.
Okay, well, all the best to them.
But St. Louis was the best market, so I got to believe
oh
it's
my
coming
God,
back.
they were getting like 25,000, 30,000 fans
Yeah,
out there.
season tickets were
I
sold out.
watched like a little bit on TV one day, but I mean, like people are like covering it like it's like
But now, I mean,
it's the Cowboys.
I honestly don't think, here's what I do think. I think this STL City soccer thing,
Oh, that's big.
that's going to be way big.
Oh yeah. Well, the MLS, but see, they're way big anyway.
No,
So-
I understand, but I mean,
No, so what I mean is like they're really big and they're coming to St. Louis, and St. Louis is gonna continue that trend
Mhm.
of supporting these MLS teams in a major way.
I'm on the,
They're a big entity, just like they are in all these other markets where they are a huge draw.
yeah, I mean, the stadium's going to be cool.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to
Great
seat enough
environment.
people.
What's the capacity?
Isn't it 20-something thousand,
Yeah, it's less than 30.
the St. Louis City Stadium? But they sold how many tickets?
Oh, they sold them all.
40-something thousand?
I know.
I have 8 on
Oh,
reserve.
do you?
8 season tickets.
Oh, cool. We're going to some games. And we've got some stuff here, by the way. So come buy your STL City gear
For
right
sure.
here at Fan Sports. Fan Caves.
Will you bring the STOL Cities guys for signings? I mean, I don't.
Yeah, of course you will.
Of course.
My question is,
All right.
yes.
So we're going to wrap this up until next Wednesday. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give away another beanie if we get subscribers. And by the way, hit the little subscribe button, hit the little bell. That way you'll get notifications that
That's
we're
right.
coming on. And the other thing is, if we get to 1,000 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, me and Andy are literally going to go like this, and we're going to give away $1,000.
I get a bonus.
We're going to give away $1,000, $1,000 worth of merch.
Ryan has structured my deal with like bonuses and perks.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So
Subscribe,
tell all your.
subscribe, and I will give away $1,000 worth of merch. Literally free,
Really?
free. Get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll give away $1,000 merch. Dollars of merch.
Wow, I like that.
I'll come on
In
air.
the giving mood.
We'll just literally go like this. $1,000.
Make it
$1,000
rain,
bills. Make it
baby.
rain. All right, guys, I appreciate it. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
See you later.
All right.